up, everybody? Garrett back here, and I want to follow up with the video I just posted this week talking about movies that had been saved by physical media, especially the boutique labels. This is a kind of a follow-up to that, not a sequel. If you guys do want a sequel to that, talking about more movies that were saved by these boutique labels that were just kind of stuck on VHS, I can definitely do that. I mean, there's so many to talk about. I could do movies that are stuck on DVD that may stay there forever unless some of these companies get them, give them the proper love they deserve. Now again, this follow-up is going to be talking about movies that are still stuck. These lost horror gems that are still stuck on VHS. Now again, I could do way more to this series, talking about movies that are stuck on DVD, that haven't seen the light of day in about 20 years, but this is going back even further. This is bringing it all the way back to the VHS days. And if you like this kind of topic and conversation, I can do a follow-up or a sequel to this because there's so many more I can talk about. But when it comes to physical media releases, what I get the most excited for right now is them bringing out movies that we just haven't seen in many, many years. There's so many rehashes, there's so many reissues and double dipping and the same movies coming out from different companies, steel books, slip covers, like all these different kind of editions, but they're all pretty much movies that we've had in our collection many times. Now, like I said in my last video, what gets me most excited is to get some of these releases from some of these lost gems, especially in the horror genre, because that's ultimately my favorite. Growing up in the video store era, I was renting a lot of these things as a young kid, and my uncle got me into a lot of these things, and some of these movies have been stuck not only on things like DVD, but also as far back as VHS, and at this point in time, I feel like some of these movies, if they're not rescued, they could be gone forever. Now, when I say gone forever, maybe you could find these on streaming, maybe you could find these on YouTube. When it comes to kind of giving these a new life, which I think boutique physical media does so well, is they take these movies that no one's ever heard of, give them a lot of hype, pretty up the packaging, and give them a whole new life with the horror community that maybe would have never seen these movies. And I have about 6 here. Now again, I could do more than this, but these are 5 I have in my collection and 1 that I actually do not have in my collection at all that I want to talk about here. But these are 6 really important ones and ones that I think you guys should at least try to track down on maybe YouTube or something like that. If you have a VHS player, try to track these down. But a lot of these go for a pretty penny on VHS because it's literally like the only way you can get these movies unless you bootleg them, which I'll go through again here. But let's get into this list, guys. All right, now we are in the Christmas season. So we just had Thanksgiving just pass us by. We are now heading into Christmas. And again, this video is in 2025, so these may come out next year. This is what I'm hoping we see in 2026 from some of these labels. Now, the first one I want to talk about is a Thanksgiving slasher. There's not many of those Thanksgiving slashers. We know things like Blood Rage. I talked about that in a video not too long ago. Things like Thanksgiving, but this one is one that's really kind of fallen behind because no one has been able to see this since the days of VHS, and that is a movie called Home Sweet Home. Now, this is a media VHS tape, but I have a bootleg of this. This is a bootleg DVD I got many years ago because I heard this movie was just so hard to come by even during the days of DVD, and we still haven't got it, guys. This is basically about this drug-addicted slasher that's tormenting a family on Thanksgiving. Very standard. I know the people that made this weren't really happy with it, and maybe that's why it hasn't really got any more releases, but man, you've seen so many movies that people have said, man, I never thought anybody cared about this until it got re-released on physical media, and now all of a sudden it's a cult hit. And that's what I'm hoping happens to a lot of these movies. Now, the reason these movies aren't available, I have no idea. It could be film elements, could be rights issues, it could be music issues. I don't know the reason. I'm sure a lot of these companies have maybe tried for some of these movies, but I don't know the reason why we haven't got them yet. But Home Sweet Home is one that is still stuck on VHS that I would love to see get a new edition. All right, now speaking of the holiday season, Thanksgiving is gone, Christmas is here. I absolutely love this movie. I've talked about this movie many times since the day I started my channel and I talked about holiday movies. I've talked about this one. It's so bad it's good. If you like things like Troll 2, you're going to like this one as well. I did a commentary with Dead Pit Radio on this movie, and it is called Elves. Now, this is the actual VHS tape of Elves. Look at how cool this is. I've really wanted to get some kind of one sheet. I think there's only like a video poster of this movie, but how cool is this? It's a pricey poster, and it's hard to find, but I've been trying to track this down for many, many years, but Elves is one that it's so bad that it's so rad. I'm going to tell you that right now. I absolutely love this movie. Dan Haggerty is in this movie. Grizzly Adams is here. And it takes place in a mall, and it involves elves, or maybe an elf, I guess. And it kind of has a combination between Christmas and Nazis. So if that's going to tell you what you're in for with Elves, it is a hell of a time. And I'm going to say this on record because I've said it many times. Elves has the best shower scene in horror history since Psycho. So guys, make sure to try to check out Elves this holiday season. I've reached out to places like TerraVision who did a soundtrack for this. I said, can we get the physical media? Can we get the movie? And they said, we're trying. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if the film elements have been lost. But again, Vinegar Syndrome or DeGosser Video gave us Iced and the quality looked like a damn VHS tape. Give us something. Give us something. Even if it's just the poor quality, try to uptick it with any kind of tricks you have up your sleeve to give us a better looking version of this. Doesn't have to be the best. If this is all we have, this is all I want. I want this movie to be seen by more people, to have a little more hype behind it, because if it doesn't, this thing could be lost forever. All right, now this next one is a little bit more of like a thriller, I guess you would say. It's a horror movie. This is a very 90s horror movie. I remember seeing this on like USA as a kid, and it was kind of a gateway movie for me, I think, when it got into getting into more horror movies. Because it involves a kid, and it's not strictly horror. It feels like a very made-for-TV kind of like thriller. And that is a movie called Paperboy. Now, this is the VHS tape from Republic Pictures. So if you guys remember this image sitting on the store shelves growing up, Paperboy, look at how cool this cover is here. Now, it's basically about this kid who becomes obsessed with like this woman, this new neighbor of his. And he starts to stalk them, and he starts to kill anybody that may get in his way from the love of his life. So Paperboy is a very, very fun movie. I don't know why there's no release of this, honestly. I can see a lot of companies doing this for sure, but I don't know what's going on with it and why it's been forgot about. I don't care who does it, but let's get this out there so, again, it gets more eyeballs on it. If you can give us Mikey, you can give us Paperboy. All right, now this one is one I'm shocked has no release. There's got to be a reason behind this, because when I first got into horror, this was a movie that kept coming up in rotation of talking about horror with my uncle, and I had to get the bootleg DVD, like probably in like 2008 or something like that, because it just wasn't available, and I wanted to see it because I kept hearing about it. My uncle let me borrow books about horror, and this would always be in there. It's an 80s movie, and it's called Blood Beach. So this is a fun one. This is, again, a bootleg DVD. Look how cool this DVD is, though. The New Line pictures in the top. I don't know the deal with this, guys. I don't know why we don't have this. This feels very like, if you had to give me an 80s horror movie and you're talking about a creature in the sand at the beach that's pulling people into the sand, that screams like horror, 80s horror all over it. So why nobody has delivered Blood Beach at this point, I really have no idea. But guys, that's basically what it is. It says the 5 people believed to have drowned here, but they never made it past the sand. Blood Beach is a cool-ass movie. Man, I don't know. I don't know why this wouldn't have a release. There's gotta be a reason besides just, they don't have the right elements. I mean, there's gotta be something they can do to get this out to a new audience, because to me, it's considered an all-time 80s horror classic that no one's seen in decades. All right, number 5 on this list, we are going to talk about a movie that I've talked about 1,000 times on this channel. I absolutely love this movie. Now, you may look at this and say, it's not horror. It's not directly horror. There's horror elements here. It takes place at a summer camp. There's killings here, but this is basically like a Lord of the Flies type movie, which I absolutely love. This is based on a book called Butterfly Revolution, and this movie is called Summer Camp Nightmare. I cannot tell you how much I love this movie. I just love the vibe. I'm a huge summer camp guy. Like, I love that kind of subgenre as summer camp movies. And this one is great. You have the one and only Chuck Connors in this, who does a hell of a job in this role, playing like this creepy camp owner. But man, this is an awesome movie. It's got a kind of a cool cast too. It's got Tom Fridley in there, who I loved him in the 80s. He was in Friday the 13th. He was in Chopping Mall, and he kind of always plays the same kind of character in these movies. I think he's a really cool 80s kind of actor, and he's in this as well. So Summer Camp Nightmare is a fun-ass movie with a great cast of characters. And like I said, this one is one that, man, I think out of all of the ones I talked about today, for me personally, I would probably go the most nuts for Summer Camp Nightmare if it got an announcement. And I look at this and I'm like, man, I see Vinegar Syndrome all over this in a nice, cool edition. I mean, this would be so badass. Now, I don't know why this hasn't gotten a release. I really don't. I absolutely love this movie, guys. And like I said, it's not straight horror, but there's a lot of horror elements in here. And if you haven't checked this out, I'm sure you could probably get this definitely on YouTube. Maybe it's streaming, maybe. I just want to save these movies from obscurity. So the last one I want to talk about, I actually don't own any edition of. I don't have any kind of bootleg of it. I do not have the VHS of it. I would love to get anything for this movie, but I'm hoping that maybe 2026 is the year we're going to get it. And that is 1989's Nightlife, which is a very cool movie. It's like a horror comedy. Great effects in it. It's about this kid who his bullies die and they come back as zombies and torment him again. It's a fun-ass movie. Not to be confused, there's another Nightlife movie, which was like a made-for-TV vampire movie, which I did think Kino had announced they were putting that out. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, they're doing Nightlife, but it was the other Nightlife. But ever since then, I kind of didn't hear about it anymore. Let me know down below. Did you guys remember Kino announcing that TV movie Nightlife, the vampire one? I think like last year, but I haven't seen anything of it since, which I would want to get to because that's been stuck on VHS as well. But the one I'm talking about is the one with Scott Grimes. That's the Nightlife I'm talking about. You can actually see a pretty cool version of it on YouTube. The quality's pretty good, but I don't have that in my collection at all. And it's one I've been kind of really sought after for so long. A part of me feels like when I was younger, like Anchor Bay had done like a DVD, and that's why I didn't buy it. I was like waiting to find it. But doing my research, it doesn't look like it had a DVD at all. It wasn't just something that came and went. I guess it didn't have anything at all. It hasn't had anything since VHS. But guys, I'm hoping 2026 is the year that we see some of these movies re-released from some of these boutique labels and given the proper hype and love they deserve, because if we can't give these to a new audience, I think these things are just going to slowly get lost in time. And I just don't want that. That's what I want in our physical media today, is to get these movies that are lost, especially things that are still on VHS. I mean, that's the wild part. This is not even DVD, this is VHS. Now, guys, let's get this going. Let me know down below what other movies are still stuck on VHS. Not DVD. I can do a whole nother video talking about movies still stuck on DVD. I'm talking about VHS horror. Horror movies still stuck on VHS. I do have more I could talk about here, but I wanted to just give you my top 6 right now, and then maybe I can come back later if you guys dig this content. So guys, definitely check out the video I posted earlier this week talking about movies that physical media companies, boutique companies did save from VHS. And these are the ones that I think need saving. Guys, thank you for checking this out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hype this video if you love talking about all things physical media, horror, collectibles, and retro physical media stories. This is Garrett at Born2beRad, and like always, stay rad.